There we go. Hello, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and say hello, put you in here. And the first one I got to say, meant to be RVing. This was at like 6:10 this morning. They were in here before I was doing it in here. So hello, meant to be RVing. Hello, Mel Natty. Hello, Epic. Got you in here, our epic adventure. Lynn the Okie. Thank you for the Daydream Raid. Daydream when you get in here. Hello, Amy. Man, you guys are right. This does pop up when you get a bunch of people talking. It pops up really fast. Hello, Nursing Our Travel Bug. Hello, RV Weekend. Oh, got Amy there again. Popped up on me. Hello, Thrifty Angela. Hello, Artist. Hello, Linda. Hey, Happy Place. Hello, Uncle Lisa. And Rally. Hold on, I fucked Uncle Lisa up. Yeah, there we go. Hello, Ozark Pathfinders. And today we have, oh, got Scrapper jumping in here at the last minute. We have Beyond Beauty3. Now, I've been really interested in your channel for a little while because I've noticed, and I'm kind of wondering if it was a conscious choice or it just ended up happening, because I went back through and saw you have some videos, but it's mostly live streams that you do. So what was it a conscious decision, or did it just end up working out that way? It was easier for you to do live streams.
It was a conscious decision. I suffer with anxiety, and talking to people is really, really hard. So it was a jump and a push to like get myself to talk and get through that anxiety. So I started doing live streams in hopes that I would kind of face that fear, and that's why I did it.
That's really interesting that you went that way, because you're kind of, unlike uploading a video, you're kind of forced to see people reacting right then and there. So that's kind of like I'm afraid of heights, so I'm going to jump out of an airplane.
Well, that's exactly like my dad had taught me my whole life. If you're afraid of something, you face it head on. So I am afraid of heights, and my dad and I rented a Cessna airplane. It's one of the 4-seater airplanes, and went up for a flight just to face my fear because I was so scared of it. So that's kind of how I've always tried to do it, is just jump 2 feet in and face the fear head on. So
I think it was, I don't know if it doesn't go back far enough, because I know sometimes mine, depending on how I look at it, I can't go all the way back. But I think it was your second live stream. There might be another one with the same title, but the second one was I'm Sorry. And I kind of started watching that, and I was really impressed because ever since the beginning, you have really taken your audience's reactions and feelings into consideration when you do your live streams. And so I thought that was really impressive, especially for your second live, that you do that kind of stuff.
I think other people's opinions and feelings are important, for sure. I learned a long time ago not to, like in my adult years, not to live my life for everybody else, but also everybody else has feelings, so you should respect those feelings and care about them. So yeah, definitely.
And so I've seen you have, it looks like, I mean, maybe you've done some other ones, but you have the almost like 3 different lives that you either still do or have done. One was the getting ready with me, and the first ones, it looks like, and the first couple lives were in the car. Maybe that was because that was more comfortable for you to do in the car and feel like you were kind of not having anybody around you while you were doing it. And Then you have your trivia ones, which are really fun, especially some of the questions you get. They're really, really interesting in your trivia. And I kind of wanted to know what your obsession was with, and what got you into the true crime as well.
Okay. So the car streams was, I'm a busy mom, and so there was only a amount of time that I had during the day to kind of do this at first. And so I had about an hour each day that I was stuck in the car, and I had to drive to my kids' school, and so I had 5 minutes of drive time and then had to just sit in a parking lot. So I was like, this is perfect time to just go live and face this fear. So every day, 5 days a week, I would do that. And sorry about that. And that's how I got started doing it in the car. And then true crime. Oh, I've had a crazy life. I've had a lot of stuff in my life that you could probably attribute to true crime or say is similar to true crime. And so I started learning a lot about my own thought process, and how my brain works and how I think. And it's everybody's brain processes things, everybody feels things so differently. And so that in turn made me interested in when someone commits a crime or when these true crimes happen and stuff. It made me wonder, well, why do they think that way? What's got them going down that road, or how did they get to that road? And it just interested me, the psychology of it, I guess. And so that's kind of how that happened. It's a passion of mine.
I find this stuff interesting too, but like some of the I have to say some of the detail that you go into and that you're able to find in a lot of the stuff that you talk about is a lot more in depth than I've seen on some of the shows. So that's you do a lot of homework and put a lot of work into your streams about the true crime. And I also have to say, unlike you know, some live streams some people do, there's a lot of replay value in your streams because of that too. Like somebody can come across your true crime live stream and go, oh, I want to find out about this person or that person. And I think it's a really good thing that you went into there. And I can tell that, like you're talking about just there, you like how you just like to go into the minutia of all the details of why they did this and trying to figure out why. You can see it in your live streams that you really, you're really almost brought to life by those kind of stories.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I think people do bad things, and I usually think there's probably something that led up to that. And I don't think that I'm just like, oh, well, because this happened, they did that, it's forgivable. No, but I think it's important to kind of try to figure out what led down that road.
There's Thrifty Angela. Rewatched your stream from this morning. So, what? I guess I know you've had a favorite, maybe a favorite one you've done so far, as far as that you've done in your live stream. Is there one that you want to do as well that you haven't done yet that you're really interested by and want to share with everybody?
On true crime?
Yeah.
There is a story that I'm working on, and I feel like I need to get it perfectly right in order to put it out there because it's close to home. It's someone that I knew. And I'm not going to put the name out there just yet because it is a really close to home story. But there was a lady that was married, and she was a Sunday school teacher, and she passed away, was murdered. And her husband just claimed that she went outside on her farm in the middle of the night and just disappeared. And even her sons said that their father did it. And it took about 4 years, and they recovered her body on the property. and he still has not been arrested. And I think the more that is talked about and the more attention that's brought to that case, the better. And so I really want to do that case justice and talk about it thoroughly. So I am excited to talk about that one.
Right. That's you probably want the right details out there too, so that it helps get the case done too. So you're, like you said, you're the busy mom and you're also a grandma, which always surprises people. But has there been a time, I mean, I guess for you, that's a good question for you and for anybody out there that has kids. How do you balance your YouTube channel and doing stuff for YouTube with the family life that you have?
I keep my schedule. I set up the hours that I do YouTube, and then plan out like being on your channel. I put that in my schedule and I'm like, okay, this is happening. But for the most part, I have a very rigid schedule that I stick to for my channel. And then my kids are teenagers now, so they're more to the age of mom's not so cool. And they got their own things they want to do. I have one son that would love to be on my YouTube channel every time I'm on. He would just love to sit next to me, but the rest of them are just kind of doing their own thing now. So now that they're a little older, I can do this more at home and spend time doing stuff for myself. So,
right. What would you say has been maybe from the stories you've done, or just in general, what's been the most craziest person that's like reached out to you and either commented or emailed you or whatever about one of your videos?
I just had something randomly recently happen that I was like, wow. There is a beauty YouTuber, and I do beauty, but I don't do a lot of beauty. I just dabble in it because it's fun. It's more of a hobby. But there's a beauty YouTuber that has 50,000 subscribers, which is a huge amount of subscribers. And she has commented on about 3 or 4 of my videos. And I've been a follower of hers for a long time. So I think that it's just that she's a very kind person and she makes sure that she gets back to her subscribers, and she's just that way. And I think that's really cool of a big YouTuber. But that was pretty cool to have her say something. That was pretty cool. Yeah. I think meeting up with a lot of the YouTubers that I've met in this community too has been top notch.
Yeah, it's there's definitely gotten a lot of friends off of being on YouTube, and met more people than I thought I would meet. That's for sure. When you started out doing the live streams to get trying to get over your fear, when did you become comfortable on your own channel doing your live streams and comfortable doing your videos? And what, besides just jumping out of the airplane, what has helped you do that?
I took a break from YouTube for a little bit, and then I came back and started doing it again continuously. A lot of that was with the influence of Nomadic Hippie, so I appreciate him kind of pushing me back into it. And when I did that, I started coming back with a more plan, like not just a, hey, I'm going to pop on and talk. I kind of had at least an idea of what to talk about. I don't really write things down, but I kind of have a couple of ideas that are floating around in my head, and I'll pick one of those and choose that to talk about. And that helped a ton. that helped me get a lot more comfortable with being on here. And I think the people that I was surrounding myself with on YouTube helped too, making sure that I was in the right place with the right people. That's important because sometimes you can get the wrong people in your chats, and that's never good. I've experienced that. So that helped make me a lot more comfortable too. I still get nervous. I still have bad days. Every once in a while, I'll have a day where I'm like, I don't even know what I just said for the last hour. Yeah, it works out.
When and I like to ask, because I've asked the past couple streams, up to where you are now, was there a number of subscribers that you hit that you thought was surprising that many people were interested in what you had to say?
Yeah, I think 100 was surprising, and then 200 was surprising. It's just all been surprising. I honestly, I was happy. There's still a group of girls. I think there's 5 of them. Every once in a while, they'll come in my chat and drop a taco. And they were the original girls that would come to my chat every day, just 5 of them. And we would just chit chat. And that was awesome. I was happy to just be talking and feel okay doing it. So it's just any growth has been amazing.
Yeah, and you're talking about the 5 girls, that showed up at your chat, and I have, what one commenter I know has been around for a long time, and he's always there every video, and it's like, it's surprising when you become part of somebody else's routine, like that they either wake up and watch you, or they'll watch your live streams or whatever, and you become part of their routine. It's really, really surprising.
Yeah, it like feels like such an honor that somebody's interested in what you have to say. It's like, wow, really? You care what I have to say? But I care what they have to say too. You know what I mean? So it's a friendship.
Yeah, it's definitely, and like you're saying, 100. I think it starts to become almost self-motivating when you have something like that happen. They like, oh, I got to get something up. These people come and watch my videos or watch the live streams or whatever. I got to get something up. Has there ever been a time where you felt too much pressure to put something up?
Well, I backtrack for just one. You said self-motivating, and that actually reminded me. Part of the other reason that I did it was because I needed something to do for myself. Because as a mom that stays home, you kind of lose yourself a little bit sometimes, and I needed something to like know that I had to do rather than just always, oh, it's for the kids or I don't have anything to do today. I needed something to be at, to focus on. And so I kind of feel like I need to mention that too, because that gave me a purpose. It felt like sort of. And then to go into the answer of did I ever feel like there was too much pressure? Sometimes. And not from other people, but more that I put on myself, where I felt like I disappointed myself if I had to miss a stream, and that I had to start allowing myself to be okay with, because I got really good at being there all the time and never missing, and I did that for months, and then I had to miss a stream, and I was like, oh man, this doesn't feel good.
Yeah, that's it's hard to miss something once you've been doing it. And I like what you said though about having something to do. I think just and you go. I mean, for me, it's really early in the morning when you go live in your morning one. But just having that every morning, probably for yourself to have that schedule, even if it's just to do a live stream, that's probably helped you out in other areas of your life too.
Yeah, it because you, as a stay-at-home mom, you get to focusing on your kids, and you get to focusing on your significant other, or the housework, or the day ins and the day outs of everything, and that's great. But you also kind of feel like, well, I don't have a job, and I don't have this, and I don't have that, so like you kind of get a little lost in the world. But if you have something you can focus on every day, or every couple of days, because I do it every other day in the morning, yeah, it gives you kind of a purpose or a focus, and it helps a lot to maintain a schedule.
I want to say too that one of the things that I really like that you do, um, along with these other some of the other creators I've talked to, is you don't hide information on how to do things from people. Like you have streams where you taught people how to use Prism. You had streams where you taught people how to use StreamYard like we're using now, and all the different kind of functions and stuff like that. Um, what was the impetus behind sharing information like that with your audience?
Oh, it was so hard sometimes for me to figure out stuff. I think part of the reason I stopped using doing live streams was because they shut down the ability to just hit the button and go live from your phone on YouTube a while ago. And so then I had to try to figure out how to use OBS, Streamlabs. And oh boy, I couldn't figure that out for nothing. And I had friends that were like, oh, well, you got to do this, then you got to do that. You got to have these settings. But they really didn't show me how to do it. And I didn't understand what was happening. And then I had someone show me StreamYards, the basics to it. And I quickly was able to pick that up. And I was so thankful for that, because then it was like, oh, I'm back. I can do this. So from that, I was like, I will share whatever I learn, because I was so thankful to be taught that. I want other people to be able to do all the stuff with it too. And so that's pretty much it. Just like, I don't want people to get stuck or feel defeated or stop something that they enjoy doing because they can't figure something out. I want them to keep going. So that's it.
That's and I think that's a very noble quality to have, instead of, because I've seen it in work, I've seen it in school, all kinds of stuff where people go, well, I know how to do this trick, but I'm not going to tell you how to make things easier for yourself, because I want the exclusive access or whatever it is to be able to do all this cool stuff.
Mm-hmm. That's not fair. Like, well, not that's not fair. I mean, I get why people would do that, but at the same time, then you have people that are losing out on something they like, and I don't know, that doesn't feel right in my heart.
So when you did the lives to kind of to just jump in the fire, jump out of the plane, and get used to it, and not be so nervous, was that also the impetus behind the channel, starting the channel, or was it because you wanted to put your thoughts and information out there?
It was, yeah, it was to just get out and get over the fear, but I also thought that it would be a good way to maybe tell my story if I could. If I could get to a point of being brave enough to tell my story and kind of document it. I've been hampered a little bit in being able to tell it all, but eventually I hope to be able to share it all someday.
What you have shared so far. Oh, and I like what Epic said here. knowledge is power, but sharing the knowledge is more powerful.
That's
That's a good point. Um, you the story that you've shared so far, I think is really interesting. Um, just just what you've been through, and the things that you've overcome already. I I'm actually really fascinated to learn that there's even more to it that you haven't shared yet, because I think everything you've shared so far has probably helped somebody out. Maybe you've got comments about it already, maybe whatever, but there's somebody out there that's watched your stuff and has been helped out by you sharing it.
I hope so. I hope that that is something that people, because I think that's part of why I want to share it, is that I hope that people can find that they can get through anything and everything. Because there are times in my life where I didn't think that I would have the strength or be able to pull through, and come out the other side of things, and I did it. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. So it's kind of a message that I hope to get across.
It comes across pretty well, for sure. Um, what you've done so far.
Well,
What is
thank you.
No problem. What is your goal for the rest of this year? Like, what would you like your channel to achieve? Whether uploads, subscribers, like what are you hoping the next 6 months bring for your channel?
Um, the same. Uh, Positivity, inspiration, um, growth for everyone that is involved in my channel. Because it's not just me. It's me and a whole bunch of amazing people. And so whatever I want from me, I want for everyone that's there supporting me and helping me along the way. So I really just want positivity, growth, and happiness for everyone that's involved. And yeah, and just see where it all takes me. Pretty
That
much.
that sounds like a very attainable goal, as long as you keep on the path that you're on. Have you had any? I mean, your kids know that you have the channel, obviously, but have you had anybody in your life, like from your past or whatever, maybe from school or whatever, that's come across your channel and was like, "Hey, I know you. I remember seeing you back this place or that place."
Um, so I haven't shared my YouTube channel yet with my family, and well, like my dad knows and my kids know. And then I have a friend that knows. But I haven't like shared it out on my personal Facebook page or anything, because nobody on YouTube knew my name yet. And that just happened. So there wasn't like that crossover. But I did have a friend when I started Instagram find my channel, and she was like, "Wow, didn't know you were on YouTube." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm on YouTube." And she was really excited, and so I do have a few people that found it, and they really liked what I was doing. But yeah, I'm a little nervous to mix the two worlds. I don't know why, but I think it's just because I know it'll bring a bigger crowd in, and I have that anxiety of talking. So I don't know. We'll see what happens when it all comes together in one big place.
Well, I will say, whenever you're ready to bring them in, you got good enough stuff going on now that, I mean, your friend likes it, so that should give you a little confidence to be ready to share, with your family whenever you're ready.
Yeah, and the thing with my name is so funny. There was I've explained this a couple of times, but there was a group of people that I was a mod for a very large channel. And when you're a mod for channels like that, sometimes the not so great people start to like follow you. And so I had that happen, and I just kept myself very, very private for a long time. And so that's why, like, internet wise, my name never came to be. I was very nervous about that, but I've come to kind of adjust and grow, and the anxiety has lessened, and I'm very comfortable now, which is great. It's growth, and all growth is great. But yeah, so now I feel like I'm heading down that path of like everything's coming to this natural place, the way that it should kind of naturally go. But yeah.
Well, I want to say, I mean, just here in the chat, I mean, Trip and Tracy here, she says you got a great message.
Oh.
And people giving you flowers, Nonetta giving you flowers, Linda's giving you flowers.
Everybody's so sweet.
Yeah, so we definitely all love you here, and I gotta say, because we had mostly RV channels that were in the community, and I think you're definitely one of the first ones that I remember coming in that wasn't strictly either a RV channel, travel channel, or anything like that. That you were a little different, and I think that's pretty awesome.
I used to tease Blue Wave and say, "What are you doing letting a beauty channel in, Blue Wave? What happened?" I think you let me in the wrong door.
and I think you coming in that door opens the door for a lot of these other channels coming in, and even like Gina loves you too. She puts up some hearts.
Oh, I love Gina Payne. She's so awesome.
She is awesome. Who is somebody? Can you talk about that beauty channel you follow? Who's somebody that you would like to either have on your channel someday, or that you really enjoy watching and has kind of I don't know the right word. I want to say mentor, but kind of somebody that you watch and take things from and, for your own channel and for your own videos and stuff.
So for years, there's a beauty channel that's a beauty channel, but not a beauty channel. She does beauty, but she also does gardening, and she does stuff about her house. And her name is Raw Beauty Christy. And she is definitely just raw. She's not like other channels. She tells it like it is. I wouldn't say she doesn't do drama, but she puts it like it is. And she's kind and loving, and you can tell that she has a heart of gold. And she was smaller when I first started following her, and she grew very, very naturally. And she inspires me. The way that her channel inspires me. She just does what she wants to do. She doesn't follow any mold. And I think that's been inspiring from the very beginning. There are definitely channels in our community that inspire me. Boxman D, Mel Nutty Living Free Zip Codeless, Meant to Be, Gina Payne, Nomadic Hippie. There's so many. I can't sit here and list them all because I'm going to forget people, and then I'm going to feel bad. But yeah, I think anyone that has that heart, you can just tell through the screen. You can just tell they're good people. That's where I'm at. I love that in people. So I don't know.
Well, you and Meant to Be RVing and Melnetti, you also do a show now where you have people on and talk. So Beyond Beauty3 is going to get her turn to ask me questions too on Wednesday. Um, let's talk about it live. And moderators, please run your links and run links to the stuff that you have going on too. So don't be afraid to do that. I'm the link slinger, so please sling some links in here if you guys have them. Don't worry about that. But speaking of that, like when you decided to do that show with those two ladies, like how did that come about? Was it something that you brought up, or was it like all three of you at the same time, or?
Meant to Be and I had talked about different things just as friends. We had talked about doing something that we could bring the community into, but that we could do together just for fun. And then as we got to talking, we talked about different people that we admired, that we thought had different opinions from us, but still had good core values, or kind hearts. And I keep saying kind hearts, but that's my thing. If you got a good soul and a kind heart, you've won me over. So we talked about a group of women. There was a group of women we really admired and enjoyed. And so we reached out. I think there was even one male originally that we reached out to, and we spoke to all the different people and kind of met with everybody and talked and offered up the opportunity to be a part of it, and let everybody kind of simmer and think about it and see if they could commit to doing it. And we were excited to kind of do that. And that's kind of how it started. And then, the people that could do it have continued on, and here we are.
Well, it's from what I've seen so far, you guys are on a good track with the program, and you guys, I think between the three of you, you come up with very engaging questions that are really fun to listen to the answers to.
It has turned out to be so fun, and like the people in the chatterbox and the comments that people share and their experiences. The first one we did with jobs and getting to hear about people's first jobs, I loved the chatterbox and people talking about their first jobs and what they did and their worst jobs and all that. I just love hearing from everyone else. And then the interviews, I love it all. I love just hearing from everyone else. It's great.
Well, people have been putting in. I think Uncle Lisa said, "I don't remember when I met your channel." People have been putting in, and I thought this was interesting because it's one of the streams that I saw on your channel. Ozark Pathfinder saw you when you were clowning around for a good cause. So, do you want to talk about that thing you did with Uncle Lisa there on your channel?
Oh, I said that I was going to chop my hair off to raise money for Jerry Holly and his wife. And Jerry Holly absolutely refused to let me cut my hair. He said, "It's not happening. You're not allowed." So I decided that, well, I guess I can paint my face as a clown for the day. And then if anybody wants me on their live, I'll go on their live and I'll do my lives with my face painted as a clown. And then Uncle Lisa hadn't been seen yet. He did end up ruining it and going live. You ruined it, Uncle Lisa. No, I'm just kidding. But he did go live the night before on the campfire thing. But I did an interview with him. So a lot of people were interested in seeing Uncle Lisa. So I had a clown makeup on to interview Uncle Lisa also. So that was fun.
Who has been somebody that you had on as a guest that you weren't sure how it was going to go, but you were really surprised um, at how well it went with them, or surprised at the answers that you got to the questions that you
Um, I don't know if I was surprised, but I think one of the ones that was most interesting to me, and this is probably because, again, I'm very interested in the background or the story or the psychology of people. I did an interview with a larger channel called Real Talk Recovery, and her name's Nicole. And she leads like a support group on YouTube, and she's devoted to that support group, and she has struggled in her life but is now clean. And interviewing her was a really interesting interview, and so I really, really liked that one. Some of the answers did surprise me, just because I didn't know her full story or how much she had really been through. So that was, I think, one of my stronger, harder interviews, but I really enjoyed it.
when you look back, because I think when I was hearing your interview with Boxan D last night, you said you had channel for about 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look over those 2 years, is there something that you saw as a mistake that you wish you would have avoided? And is there something that you wish you would have taken a chance and done that you didn't do?
Sorry. Um, That's hard because you learn from your mistakes and you grow from your mistakes. So if you didn't do those mistakes, you wouldn't grow. But I have and continue to talk about when I modded for that channel, and that was a mistake. I put a lot of faith in someone growing. I thought that they were growing. I thought they were learning from their mistakes. So I put trust in them. And because of that, I endured a lot of things that I probably shouldn't have had to. So that was a mistake. But I also grew from that. I grew and I learned a lot from it. So I do believe that was a mistake, but I grew from it.
Is there any chances that you wish you would have taken? Like anybody that you wish you would have asked, or any stories that you wish you would have done up to now?
I don't know. I think I'll take chances still. So I might not have gotten there yet, but I'll get there. I'll take some chances. I love that you have the ability to just, you go for those bigger interviews. You ask people, you have no fear in sending those messages, it seems. And I love that. So I hope to gain that. I haven't gained it yet. I hope to get there.
Well, I'll send you a message on Instagram later with, and Gary knows who one of the guests is that I'm trying to get, and I think you'll be really surprised at who it is. So I'll let you know that one. And that one I'm nervous to ask, but it's. I mean, somebody that's been on David Letterman. Let's put it that way.
Oh, that's exciting.
So when you go to do your live streams, I think I saw somebody ask the other day, like, people say, I'm going to go prepare for my live stream. And I kind of explained to them, people do different things. Like when you go into your space or whatever that you're preparing to go live, what do you what do you use? Like, do you meditate? You listen to music? Like, what do you do to get in the right headspace for you to be able to do your live?
I I am so addicted to Diet Dr. Pepper that I drink it all day long, but then I just sit down at my space and I like take a deep breath and I take a drink of my Diet Dr. Pepper. I get everything set up, and then right before I go live, I take a drink of my Diet Dr. Pepper, and then I just breathe and go live. Like, as long as I have my Diet Dr. Pepper, I am good.
So we're gonna have to get you Diet Dr. Pepper sponsorship and Gary a pork rind sponsorship, and we'll be all set to go.
Yeah. I saw a question on here from Linda. She asked, did I have a different channel name?
Pop it up here. There we go.
Did I have a different channel name when I modded for the big channel? No. And I didn't change it for a very specific reason. Because a lot of what was happening was other channels changing their name and coming after me and different things like that. I have one channel. I have one channel name, and I will always have just that one, so that there's just no question. This is me. This is who I am, and that's who I'll always be. So I don't feel like running from anything in that sense.
Did you have any before you started your channel? Like, were there other channel names that you were kicking around thinking about using?
No, and I don't know that this was the best channel name for me. Because it seems that a lot of people think it's beauty and that's it.
Well, it says beyond right at the first word, so they should beyond beauty. See?
Yeah,
I got it.
A lot of people think it's just beauty though. So yeah. And the Diet Dr. Pepper, I gotta shout out Johnny's Journey, because I was recently at the hospital, and you're not allowed visitors, and I was stuck there, and the hospital wasn't feeding me or letting me have anything to drink because of tests and stuff. And Johnny showed up with a bag of Diet Dr. Peppers, so that as soon as I could drink, she had my favorite drink for me. So she's an angel.
That's really awesome. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
And if you guys don't know Johnny's Journeys, go check them out too, because good people over there. Her and Banderella over there.
They're really good people.
Yeah. So out of everybody that you've met that's been a YouTuber, have any of them surprised you, like physically, that they were taller or shorter, or that they were maybe a little different on camera than off camera than you thought they were going to be?
Nomadic Hippie is shy in person. He is very shy in person, and I don't know why. He's so kind and so great, but yeah, he's a little shy in person, and that surprised me, because he just seems so outgoing. But yeah, he's shy. That's a little different. And
yeah, he seems like he would be, because the way he talks to the camera seems like he's, like you're saying, like real outgoing.
Seems like he'd be the life of the party. I think he is once he gets to know you really well. But when he first meets you, he's pretty shy. And Johnny's Journey is exactly like she is on camera. She is the same off camera. She's super sweet and kind. So, yeah.
Oh, here you go. Here's Linda. Here's what Linda said.
Yeah. And so most people think I'm a beauty channel, and that's why I said I'm not sure about the name. But
I think once people go there and see that you're about more than just beauty stuff, and I found it really interesting. I watched your one one of your videos where you were talking about your experience with Mary Kay and all that kind of stuff. And I thought that the way that you went about that and talked about your time there, and with the other companies the other company you worked with, I forget the name offhand, but
Unique.
unique. That the way that you described it almost was like the best review that you could give, because you didn't even necessarily tear down either company. You just said this is what it's about and all that kind of stuff. And I think that was really impressive. Like, is that the only two beauty companies that you worked with? Like, have you done Avon or anything like that, or is it just those ones?
Just those. And I think when covering something like that, it's important to tell your experience. But if you come off and you're like, this company's horrible and stay away from it, or I absolutely love it and there's nothing bad about it, you're not doing it any justice, because either side of the argument isn't going to listen to you if you're just completely cutting it down or completely blowing it up. You need to just put the facts out there, put your experience out there, and hopefully that speaks for itself, and people can at least listen to that rather than sugarcoating it or cutting it completely down. You just, because I've seen so many reviews on those things where it's terrible. People are speaking terribly, and people aren't really going to listen to that, I don't think, very well, at least.
Have any? I mean, I guess maybe those companies, but have any other companies, like whether it's beauty or maybe even like uh, some of the court shows because of your uh, true crime stuff, have any of those people ever reached out to you and said, hey, could you talk about this or show this to people?
Um, I've had some beauty stuff reach out to me. Some health and fitness stuff. But unless it's something I am 100% on board with, I don't want to promote or talk about it. So I like to talk about things that I find more naturally. So
more organic products that you already use. So if one of those companies that you already use reached out to you, like,
oh
heck
yeah,
I'll talk about that.
if Diet Dr. Pepper reached out to me, you got a deal.
you can put the machine right behind me. It'll sit right there every live stream.
I will take my little cup and fountain it up.
How do you deal with I want to say I want to call it writer's block like authors have, but how do you deal with like if you're having trouble thinking of an idea for a video?
I gotta switch the idea, I guess. Like, I try to keep a list of a couple of ideas going at all times, because that way, if I can't get something flowing for that one idea, I have a different idea to switch to. So I try to have a couple of ideas at all times. That way I can flip through them to work with whatever I can at the time. And hopefully one of them works out. If not, I'm winging it.
Have you ever um, like really taken to heart like some of the stories that you've read, like it's really affected you? Or is there any ones that you thought about doing and you read into it and it was just too hard for you to share with people?
Yeah. There's one story I've covered twice now on my channel, and it is about the woman from Georgia, and it got me because not only was her husband a police chief, and the whole like police system in that area was corrupt, but while she was recovering from what he did to her, allegedly, I'll use the word allegedly, she didn't get to have her children. And a mother not having her children is heartbreaking. Like, that tears my heart out. And that's so wrong. And the justice system let her down, the police let her down, and she almost died. So yeah, that story, it gets me. And he still gets to be a police officer to this day. So it's just the whole situation is wrong. So yeah, that story, that gets me. So I've covered it twice now. And I will probably cover it again with an update whenever there's a new one.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not a parent, so I can empathize with that feeling, but I don't know that feeling personally. Is there something that you want to share about your channel with people, like what you have coming up, or just what you think they should come check you out for? Like what's your most proudest thing on your channel that you're proudest out, and come check that out first, and then you can get hooked on the rest of my stuff.
I think just come check it out and check out the community that's there. The live streams are fun. You get to meet everybody and talk with everybody who is supportive and loving and kind. And if you're going to watch videos, there is a quick playlist. It's a quick video playlist. It'll kind of give you a better insight into who I am. So I'd love for you to check that out. And yeah, I'm a mixed match of everything. And I just love to have you around. Yeah.
And it's way beyond beauty, by the way, her channel. So.
Oh, and I'd really love you to check out the Let's Talk About It live channel, especially coming up this week, because let me get my finger right. That guy right there.
It's always backwards.
He's going to be on it. And we get to ask him a ton of questions. So.
Yeah. I can't wait. I'm excited to do that. And if you guys are here right now, in a few minutes, Bam Life with Tina Payne is going to be on. So please head on over there. She usually has people pop up there. I don't know if she has anybody scheduled today, but she has people on there as well. So please head on over there after we're done here. I want to say, it's been a pleasure having you on here, and I'm glad I got you early on in the interviews, because I really think people should go check out your channel. If nothing else, even like I said, even if you can't make her live streams, there's still replay value in her live streams, because it's not just about what's going on there in her life at the moment. If it's not the trivia one, it's the true life one. And the stuff that you've got going on over there is really, really cool. And I really can't wait to see what you have coming up, because like I said, the true crime stuff that you're getting into and you're so passionate about, it's really, really interesting.
Thank you so much. You are an incredible interviewer. You put in so much work and so much research into people and what they've done and what they're doing. You're incredible at doing interviews. So thank you so much for having me on and interviewing me. I really appreciate it.
No problem. And I will see you on Wednesday. Thank you guys for watching. There'll be another video up for me tomorrow, like always. And we will see you over at Gina's. Thank you guys.